think it's really good to recognize that. It was also I think it was also just important that after the announcement on Friday that we were able to come out and the team was able to play really level-headed and give us the opportunity as fans to sort of like step into our new reality a little bit and be like, oh yeah, that's right. We talk about this FA Cup tie that we watched
Yeah,
and witnessed
let's
and
do it.
lived and loved this weekend.
Yeah, it was a good game.
Yeah, it was a good game. What was your overall takeaway from the experience of watching post
Dominant.
cloud press? Yeah. Yeah.
Just dominant from start to finish.
Yeah.
Which, is to be expected. They're a championship team.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to American LFC, the podcast that features two brothers who are from America talking about Liverpool Football Club. We just are featuring a game review of our FA Cup tie of Norwich v. Liverpool. Eli, how are you feeling?
Good. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Another win for Liverpool Football Club. Post some emotional news, so it's good to get the not points, but it's good to advance in the competition.
Yeah, for sure. It seemed like it was a very emotional affair for Klopp. I saw multiple clips of the cop singing his song, and, I think everybody is, sad about what's going on, but everybody realizes, this is the best for him on a human level. We'll carry on. And it seems like it's going to be a very long, bittersweet goodbye. Maybe not as long as we think, but
yeah, I mean,
I'm sure the time will
hopefully.
fly.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. I mean, it's going to be like, it feels like the games are going to come thick and fast just because of sentiment,
Yeah.
Obviously, we're talking about the fact that Jurgen Klopp has announced that he will be leaving Liverpool Football Club at the end of this season, and then he will take a break from managing football, and he's vowed to never manage another Premier League club ever again. So, doesn't mean he won't come back, though. Just saying. Okay, should we talk about this FA Cup tie that we watched,
Yeah,
and witnessed,
let's
and
do it.
lived and loved this weekend?
Yeah, it was a good game.
Yeah, it was a good game. What was your overall takeaway from the experience of watching post
Dominant.
cloud press? Yeah.
Just dominant from start to finish.
Yeah.
Which, is to be expected. They're a championship team. I think they're kind of off the pace in the championship. It doesn't seem like they're really in the thick of it to get promoted again this year. So, it is what it is, but it was, a dominant display. Those can be a slippery banana peel sometimes, and, they didn't let that happen.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I think it's really good to recognize that. It was also I think it was also just important that after the announcement on Friday that we were able to come out and the team was able to play really level-headed and give us the opportunity as fans to sort of like step into our new reality a little bit and be like, oh yeah, that's right. Let's focus up on the task at hand and what's sort of important in the interim, and that is to win football games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they did really well. We should talk really quickly about the lineup, I think, which was arguably the most impressive part of this.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us would have pegged this lineup to happen, but Allison was in goal. Connor Bradley, who we have been seeing feature as right back pretty frequently. He made his Premier debut against Bournemouth last weekend, or I guess last midweek. And he did very well. Ibrahima Konate starts with Jarrell Kwanzaa in the center and Joe Gomez at left back, which we've seen that combination before. Mm-hmm. But I think it is also important to recognize that I think Klopp even said in his post-match press conference talking about Jarrell Kwanzaa, which is like, when we're talking about this starting lineup, I think today, and we're going to be talking about several academy players, he is technically one of them. I'm not sure that at halfway through the season if he's made the leap. Like I think it's like, are we considering Jarrell Kwanzaa an academy player now? Because how many games has he played this season?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or is he just a squad player?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I think maybe what you say, he's an academy product, but he is now a squad player.
100%. I think there's a connotation when you say academy player. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is like, oh yeah, it's young. They're coming up and through, and they have to cut their teeth a little bit, and that's definitely where Kwanzaa was, I think, in preseason. But now that we've played 30 odd games of the season already, and he's been in quite a few of them.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, obviously the standout player that probably deserves conversation here is James McConnell.
Yeah,
Who played
for
as
sure.
the sitting midfielder, to number 6, and he is absolutely an academy player.
Yeah.
I think 19 he played alongside Curtis Jones, academy product.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Gravenberch with the front line of Diogo Jota, Darwin Núñez, and Cody Gakpo. Wow, what an incredibly weak side we fielded. Isn't it hilarious to think that that's
Yeah.
like a weakened side that we're like,
Yeah.
I guess we'll just put Jota, Núñez, and Gakpo up front because,
Yeah.
Salah's out, and like we'll just rest Lucho Diaz. It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Connor Bradley had a standout game, I would say.
Yeah, I think he was voted man of the match. 2 assists.
Yeah.
McConnell had an assist.
Yeah.
I mean, McConnell's assist for the opening goal for Curtis Jones in the 16th minute, just an absolute peach.
Incredible ball. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And Curtis put it away brilliantly, too. I mean, that's, back across the goalkeeper into the side netting. It was great.
Yeah, which is like, obviously, it's no surprise. I think I heard in commentary that it was like in the last 9 games, he has 5 goals.
Yeah, I think so.
Curtis Jones,
Yeah.
5 goals in the last 9 games. So he's definitely coming into his own. He seems like he's a leader on the pitch for this style of team, which is incredible to say, considering, like Jota, Núñez are on the field, but and Allison, it does feel like that he was definitely, it was a leader's performance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%.
And I think it's great for the future of the team, which is obviously in question now. But the fact that everything in the image of Klopp has started to bear fruit, you know what I mean? Which is that these players, it feels like they have the ability to do what Klopp has asked them to do. They play a very specific style of football, and even if when we change style of play with the arrival of a new manager, worst case scenario is this season will give those players an opportunity to go find first team football if it's not at Liverpool.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're clearly at the level to do so.
Yeah.
Well,
I think, I don't want to be too sentimental, but I think Curtis is an important one to hang on to.
Oh, I think we will.
Because he's an academy product. He's a local boy,
I also heard on the commentary, I think that there rumblings or rumors that he might make the Euro
England squad.
Yeah.
I think he deserves a shot.
Absolutely.
Gareth Bale's kind of a numpty, so not Gareth Bale. I'm sorry, Gareth Southgate.
Gareth Southgate. Yeah.
Is kind of a ding dong. So we'll see what he ends up going with.
Yeah, for sure. It doesn't matter. Southgate won't be in a job for long because the Euros will go and something will happen. He'll stick around. They'll have one bad game and they'll be like, hey, he hasn't won any trophies in 10 years. Let's can him. And then Klopp will have been out of the game for 8 months and then be like, you know what? I actually miss managing. And they're like, hey, do you want to be England national manager? And he's like, yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah. And England wins the World Cup in 2026 with Jurgen Klopp.
And Trent Alexander-Arnold playing a false right back.
Is captain.
Yeah. Honestly. Just saying. Okay. All right, so we talked a little bit about Jones. We talked about Bradley's performance. He seems like he's got a really great defensive head on himself too. He's like an old school winger. He's like Andy Robertson, but 20 and right-footed.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the dude doesn't stop running.
Yeah.
Which is really good.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. I mean, yeah, 2 assists, great defensive performance. I mean, I don't know what else you can ask for, especially with, a 20-year-old. It was great.
Yeah.
I think because when was the second goal was before halftime too, right?
Yeah, they actually scored in the 16th minute to tie it up, right? Let me just check the timeline I have up right now. I'm sorry, we scored in the 16th minute. They scored in the 22nd minute. We scored in the 28th minute, right? And then that was Darwin Nunez scored in the 28th minute. That was from a Curtis Jones. No. Who gave his assist? I was getting that confused with the Jota goal, which was incredible. Yeah. I mean, there's 5 goals. There's so many goals. Yeah. It's like, wait, what was that goal? Yeah. And then so we went into halftime 2-1.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we came back out, and then Jota scored his goal from the Curtis Jones assist in the 53rd minute. And then we started to bring on some legs to give a little rest to the first team, and we brought up
what the subs are made in the 55th minute, right? And it's Robertson, Van Dijk, and Trent.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think Trent came on like a little bit later, but I think it was
Szoboszlai was the third. Yeah, was the third one.
So we started with a strong team, and then we brought on some young players, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Andy Robertson, Dominic Szoboszlai, and a little guy named Virgil van Dijk came on.
Yeah. and
immediately scored a goal.
Yeah, and then Virgil scores a heck of a header off a corner kick. That was great.
Yeah, incredible. And
Szoboszlai assist.
Yeah. Also, can we just it's so great to see Szoboszlai back. It's actually pretty wild to think about the last handful of games, several weeks worth of games we haven't had Trent and Szoboszlai, and now we were missing Mo Salah for a while, and he's going to be missing. It's like we really haven't even gotten out of second gear yet this season. Hopefully we can get everybody back and hit the ground running in February, and really put together a run. You know what I mean? The thing that we need to do to win the league.
Yeah. I think, and they're going to have to with De Bruyne being back now.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels like he can sometimes be made of glass. I'm hoping that well, it's so awful to say. I'm not going to say it. De Bruyne is going to get hurt before the end of the season. He's an incredible player. And, yeah. So we do have to, but we do need to put together a run. 10, 12.
Yeah.
13 unbeaten games in a row in the Premier League. We're not going to be doing the match previews that are coming up because we're trying to keep this one short for the Norwich review, but we do have a couple of big games coming up, and I think that's really going to we'll start to see how the shape of the season is turning out after Chelsea home and Arsenal away turns out in a matter of 4 days.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, give us a 30-second synopsis how you feel about how Liverpool played.
30-second synopsis would be, I felt Liverpool were possession-wise dominant. I think that the scoreline flatters Norwich. I think that we could have scored more goals if we were more clinical, and I think that the 2 goals that they did score, one was an absolute worldie that would, if we weren't up by 2 goals already, would have been pressured more. Van Dijk, kind of stayed off of him. I think Van Dijk, if it were tied or something, if we were drawing, it would have been different. So, it was a bit of a sloppy Joe play on the set piece for the first goal as well. Somebody didn't Mark very well, and those things happen, right? Those are mental. That's mental slip ups, and that happens. So that being said, I think with the fact that it's like we did start this game with 4 academy players, 3 of which are sub 20 years old, and one of which was playing the 6, which is an extremely pivotal role for the way that this team operates, and Joe Gomez playing the what are they, wing back, box left back,
The inverted,
inverted
left back.
I think that we were totally dominant, and that it probably the score really should have been like 6-7-1.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
that's what I would say. How about you?
I think what impressed me most, based on the age of the team, was the intensity they played with.
Yeah.
From start to finish. They really went after it for the whole 90 minutes. I didn't really see them let their foot off the gas almost at any point.
Right.
Which is great for, the amount of youngsters we had going, in their overall game time, that they were able to play with that intensity and that mental sharpness for that amount of time. I think that bodes very well for the future.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I think that we have a very strong academy now. I think Klopp has been able to build it in his understanding and his likeness of football. I think that we have a lot to be excited about in the short term, and I think that we have a lot to be excited about in the long term as well.
Yeah.
So, all right, I think that's about it for
let's wrap it up.
Okay,
we'll
sounds
be
great.
back in the second half of the week with a Chelsea match report and our standard new shorter segments with Around the Ground and a preview of the weekend's action against Arsenal. Oof. So stay tuned for that in the second half of the week.
Yep, going to be exciting. That's all we got for you today. Have a good one.
All right, thanks.